Okay, hey everybody, and welcome to another Unprofessional Discussions. Now, today's Unprofessional Discussions is going to be about, well, something that I really have a bit of a passion about nowadays, which a lot of people would think would be completely nonsensical. And I kind of agree, because I have a thing where I am a ardent Sonic fan, okay? I can forgive the Sonic franchise for just about anything. Yet, this mustachioed bastard here, I hate his guts, and I have always hated him. Mario games are pretty much to me a poor man's Sonic. And I know that everybody and their mothers will look at me and go, what the fuck? So, the problem with this is that I just don't find Mario entertaining, yet I find that Sonic is. Now, if we take this look at this from an objective standpoint, what is the difference between the two series, really? They're both essentially the same kind of game. I mean, Sonic is you go through a stage as 2D scrolling, and you jump on enemies, pick up power-ups, and get to the end of the stage. Mario is essentially the exact same thing. You go through the level, you jump on things, you defeat bosses, just like Sonic, and you get to the end of the stage, and that's it. So why on earth should I have a problem with one of these games to the point of, oh dear god, I never want to play this game, and why should the other be something that I absolutely love? Now, I'm going to put it out this way, there's no way you're going to budge me off Sonic. And I would say it would take a lot to convince me that Mario would ever be a good game. And if I was a person looking at this without the bias that I have, I would think, what the fuck, how is this even possible? Clearly this guy hates what is considered as one of the most, well, successful, well, it is the most successful game franchises of all time. And in my mind, the reason why I hate Mario is, well, first of all, I feel that the game is boring, especially compared to Sonic. See, with Sonic, you've got lots of fast movement, you've got lots of colourful characters, all with their own personalities, and really awesome looking plot points, such as like the Chaos Emeralds going supersonic, Dr. Robotnik's robots, who generally are all aesthetically pleasing. And then we go to Mario, where you're fighting poorly designed enemies like Goombas, which are just mushrooms with eyes, with toads, and most of the characters, even in the later stages of the franchise where it went into 3D, like in Super Mario Sunshine, there was never really any character behind Mario. The characters all just seemed absolutely horrid. There was only one character who ever stood out for me in Mario who had any type of personality, which would be Luigi, who pretty much had the time-honoured sidekick who wouldn't get the limelight role, and that went pretty well. I can't deny that, that was fairly well. But then we've got characters like Bowser, whose main objective is, I'm gonna kidnap the princess, blah 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 blah. And it was always that, and Bowser's character would always be bland, and he wouldn't really seem to show any motivation what he wanted. In the Sonic series, Dr. Robotnik, later named Dr. Eggman, started to develop a sort of character. I mean, with his pretty much trying to create Eggman Land, and basically trying to create a shrine to his own ego and take over and control things. I mean, he was a villain without a clear backstory, but at least he had flair, whereas Bowser would just be like, rah 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 rah, look at me, I'm so evil. And if we actually compare those two for villains, I just don't see any reason why anyone would ever find Bowser to be appealing. His character is non-existent. There is practically no personality behind him. And then we got the later things like King Boo, a giant, like, ghost with a crown on. Now, I will admit, I find that whole concept amusing, but other than that... I mean, I played Luigi's Mansion, and it was alright. But it was one of those bosses that sort of just turned up out of nowhere. There was no lead up, there was no this is happening. And again, he turns up in a giant Bowser robot. Literally in that, to signify the whole, yes, we know you're tired of Bowser, so we're going to have a ghost inside of a Bowser robot just to fool you. And you'll be glad it's not him. Sort of like a trick that they do in wrestling. Anyway, let's move on to the good characters. Princess Peach, typical damsel in distress, way out of time. Complete stereotype of the damsel in distress. I really still can't find any personality for her, even in Smash Bros. I mean, sure, she has frying pans and vegetables, and wait a second, she's basically carrying a kitchen, and then she hits people with her ass. Okay, I still don't see any character other than you get kidnapped every single game. Plot device, go. As opposed to Sonic's general female character who would ever be considered a damsel in distress, well, that would probably be Amy Rose to start with. Back in Sonic CD. See, Metal Sonic kidnaps her and you spend the game trying to protect her, and then she becomes a mainstay character and they give her a hammer and she starts beating up things herself. And the character is actually 13, whereas Peach is a grown-ass woman. If a 13-year-old hedgehog can learn to defend herself, yet this princess who supposedly needs to run a country, even though it's obviously one of those countries that nothing ever gets done in. I just don't know. I can't find that appealing in the slightest. Even as a kid, I was just like, okay, it's your typical story. Bleh. Let's see. Sidekicks. Well, Tails and Luigi are both pretty iconic in their own ways. Again, Luigi I've adored as the only person who has a character in the Mario franchise, aside from possibly Wario and Waluigi, and I'll get to them later. Because pretty much, I think they should have been the stars of the Mario series. But they're not actually part of the Mario series, as they're technically their own thing. You know, what with WarioWare and all that, but we'll get back to that. But yeah, Tails and Luigi. Tails is a 4-year-old fox who goes on to be a sort of older fox who does technology kind of like Donatello from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, only he's a kid and more innocent, and you can't really call him nerdy. He's decent. I mean, in the game, he was basically in easy mode when you played Sonic 2 and 3. If you played as Tails, you were playing in easy mode, where you could just fly over everything and fly up to bosses and win easier. Tails was effectively a kid-friendly mode, whereas Luigi, what he served in the Mario games, I believe, would be a second player. Being a second player and basically being in the shadow of the main character who would apparently get all the glory, but all of that story would mostly be given in sort of people's own fanfiction and things. You know, stuff like all those ideas of Luigi trying to murder Mario and whatnot. I mean, most of the character from the Mario franchise I've looked at comes from other people's ideas of what they could possibly be. But again, that doesn't happen in the games. I mean, I've played Mario Party games, Mario Kart games, because I've been forced onto them by friends. I've played some of the side-scrolling Mario games. That's where my knowledge comes from. If they've given them character in future games, okay, fine. Please tell me about that in the comments, because I really, really still can't see anybody giving me a sufficient what the fuck Mario is story, other than he's a plumber and he saves a princess. That's it. Or he's a plumber and he goes and collects stars and that's it. The whole going out and collecting things plotline has been done tons of times, much better ways. I mean, all it really takes is a few good lines to say why this is happening, or why this ever happened, and that's it. In Sonic, you've got Sonic 2's instruction manual tells you Dr. Robotnik has basically gone right ahead and turned all of Sonic's friends into robots. Okay, that's cool. He's an instant villain. What has Bowser done? He's kidnapped a princess. What, again? Mario then has to go through a ton of worlds, beating off enemies who generally look ugly, don't have any flair to them, and are just there to be obstacles. Sonic has to kill his own friends in robot forms and release them. Every single thing you kill, there's a reason for it. There is plot behind every corner, and so yay. The actual main characters themselves. Let's go into that. Mario, what character does he have? His character is, I have a mustache, and I am Italian. Woohoo! Okay. Would you like to tell us a bit about yourselves? I do plumbing. Woohoo! Okay. And you get power-ups? Yes! Where did these come from? I don't know. Alright. Oh, you have a water-sporting jetpack now. That's cool. It is my gimmick for this game. Now I am in space. Woohoo! No, Mario, you need to tell us what you're actually doing. Who cares? Kids like my colourful levels and bright gimmicks. As usual, I am doing this without thinking. So, sorry if I sound a bit hesitant sometimes. But anyway, yeah. It seems that the only reason that Mario ever got popular was... And people really got into the casual gameplay at the start on stuff like the NES and the SNES. And suddenly that became the norm, this casual, mediocre game that anyone and their moms could get into. And it just kept rolling along. People became familiar with it, and suddenly it became nostalgic. And once something becomes nostalgic, you can't get rid of it. Especially the amount of people who have good memories of a mediocre game back when it was the only thing that was ever there. Now, back to the character thing I was talking about. Golly, I get sidetracked sometimes. Sonic. In the games, yeah, I'll give you that. His character is basically... He frees his friends and tries to save people. Fine. He's beating a fat Robotnik who tries to kill him with robots. That's fine. Mario is attacked by random-ass things, and when he kills them, there is no benefit to it. He is just a flat-out murderer. Oh boy. So maybe that's what Mario's character is. Maybe he's this psychotic plumber who basically decides that since somebody has, like, took his woman, he's going to take his anger out on the world and go back and get his woman back. And then send her back to the kitchen so she can fight in Smash Bros with pans and stuff. I'm just going to scroll this back down a bit. I don't really think there's much else I have to go to about characters, because I can't really think of anyone who would be the equivalent for Knuckles in the Mario World. Okay, no, I got it. Let's go for it. Yoshi. Yoshi has more character than Mario, as he is clearly a dinosaur. Where did he come from? Why do dinosaurs still exist? So many questions. He's not bland. Knuckles, echidna. What's an echidna? He punches things. Alright, that's cool. Why does he punch things? We don't know until we find out he's protecting an emerald. That's cool. That's basically Knuckles' character since forever. But Yoshi's character is, I will carry my friends wherever they want to go. Fine. That's totally fine. Why not? But yeah, the whole reason that these bland characters work for Mario so well is that because they're so, well, they can't be not liked. There are characters in Sonic you will like or you won't like because of their traits. In Mario, the characters have very little traits, so there's very little to disagree with. So in retrospect, it's not hard if you're a gamer, to just look at a character from Mario and go, hey, this looks cool, I'll use this. I find nothing to disagree with this person, they have no faults. Whereas in Sonic you can look at his like Super Saiyan form here and go, Dragon Ball Z ripoff. Or when he's like, you're too slow, or I'm so cool, you can think he's a poser. Alright, fine. But at least he's got personality. Like, fucking Tails and his doe-eyed look. I mean, he's cute, right? As an animal, he's cute. Have you seen anything in Mario that looks cute? No, everything looks fuck ugly. You could possibly find Toad cute, but he's kind of fuck ugly too. I mean, look at him. Who like? If you don't like mushrooms, this guy's fucked as a character. But anyway, let's move on to say the music. As you can hear, I've had Green Hill playing in the background all throughout this because I love it. I love almost all of Sonic's musics, even in the future installments. Past the original games, and oh boy, Sonic has always had good music. I can't think of a Sonic game that has ever had bad music outside of Sonic Labyrinth. Staple of the series seems to just be above average music for Sonic, and that's definitely something that kept me coming back and gave me nostalgic feelings. Mario has only one tune that I remember. Actually, no, let's go for two, because I can't really lie. No, there's the typical Mario theme of do-do-do-do-do-do-do, and then there's also the Bowser's Castle theme, which, granted, has left an impression on me. Everything else is dull, boring, can't be catchy, doesn't really stick in my head. There's very little Mario things that stick in my head, aside from their sound effects. Because both Sonic and Mario have sound effects that are memorable, things that can stick in your head, like the jumping on the bottom of a block thing for Mario. Yeah, definitely remember that. The little noise you make when you jump on somebody. Yep. Sonic, you've got the rings, the ring noise. You've also got the one-up thing. You've also got the supersonic music, which I remember, but granted, a fair bit of people probably won't. And then you've got all those glorious Crush 40 albums for the past PlayStation games. Granted, Sonic has gone downhill, whereas I don't see anybody complaining about Mario games, because that's really all they ever were. They were mediocre, bland, and it's hard to go below the bar when all you want is a casual experience from a Mario game. But again, I wonder what the heck people would be wanting with that. I mean, sure, there's casual players out there, but why would people settle for a casual game where there are much better incarnations? After Mario came out, there were games that did what Mario does far better, like Spyro, Crash Bandicoot. Those games did what Mario did so much better, but they never took off, yet Mario did, because of the nostalgia factor, I believe. The whole collect things and go through levels shtick. I just don't understand why Mario is still around. Is it because it's iconic? Is it because it just sticks in people's heads? Is it because Nintendo are pushing him so hard and putting him on everything as their mascot? As far as I'm concerned, Nintendo would be much better using somebody like Link as their mascot. At least he doesn't have terrible games. Again, my opinion. Don't shaft me. But I mean, yeah, let's talk about Wario and Luigi. Wario and Luigi are hilarious. They're this twosome who are the antithesis of Mario and Luigi. Whereas Luigi is a good character in a sympathetic way, Wario and Waluigi are funny in a look at them go, aren't they so determined, haha, look at them fail but keep getting back up and trying again way. And they're entertaining while doing it. They're like typical wrestling heels. You love to watch them try. Whereas with Mario, just like, ugh, he's gonna succeed because he always succeeds, because he's the hero. And he doesn't have absolutely any personality, which means we can't be offended by him. This whole thing right here of Mario showing an inch of emotion is purely because it's a versus game, and you have to have some conflict, even with somebody as emotionless as Mario. But yeah, the only characterization I can find in Mario is an Italian accent, which is stereotypical and racist. Anyway, those guys, Wario and Luigi, they should be the main characters. Fuck everybody else. Why can't we have a good main character, guys? Anyways, I've ranted on this a lot. I've said my piece. You'll probably find flaws in it, because I'm just going off my heart, as usual. But tell me in the comments, what do you think? Good? Bad? Do you think I'm a lunatic? Am I a screwball who deserves to rot in the pits of hell? Let me know. I'll see you again, guys. Bye-bye.